Welcome to RollFare, a D&D podcast. If you're new joining us, welcome. Thanks for listening in. We'll introduce ourselves as per usual. I'm Devin, the Dungeon Master.
I'm Ryan. I'm playing Alton, the Tiefling.
I'm Brad. I'm playing Arden, the Wizard.
I'm Kayla. I'm playing Kaiji, the Tabaxi Pirate.
I'm Austin. I'll be playing Sheru, the Turtle.
I'm Ben. I'll be playing Rainer, the Human Ranger.
I'm Sarah, and I will be playing Asar, the Fire Genasi.
Wonderful. So we're picking up with our party having just left the Pumongo Oasis after making some money and deciding to go search for a couple of people who have gone missing. And they have just met a merchant by the name of Tethys that has hired them to guard his caravan while they're making their way to the Zumaji mine along the Zumaji road. That's where we'll pick up. And what are you guys doing? You just met Tethys, and you've seen that he has a couple of guards. He did lose 3/4 of his guards along the way, hence coming back to the Pumongo Oasis. And he has 3 other merchants with him, so to speak.
I didn't realize it was so high on this beetle.
Uh-huh. Have you never ridden a beetle?
I can't remember, actually.
It's the finest ride in the land.
I can see that, because I can't see far.
Okay.
So, Tethys, you were telling us that you lost a couple of your men a bit further south. Can you give us a little more information so we could perhaps be a bit prepared for what might be ahead on the journey and prevent, hopefully, another loss of life?
Well, I mean, just average bandits. People trying to take what's not theirs. And fortunately, we were able to get away and, scare him off with the last remaining guards. And, my compatriot here, she helped out a lot. And so he gestures towards a dragonborn. And he says, "This is Shelkosh, Yenore." And
How do you spell that?
Shelkos. And then Yenore is Yenorae. And so he gestures towards her and says, "This is actually a good friend of mine. She's a cleric of Amanji, and she travels with me." And
Oh, another cleric. Wonderful.
And
More the merrier.
so she looks over at you and she says, "Peace be with you."
Thank you.
That's the first time you've heard that in a while.
That just might be the first time I've ever heard that.
Who is she a cleric for?
Amanji.
Amanji.
She's the goddess of peace and twilight. And so looking at her, so she's a dragonborn with terracotta-colored scales, and there's flecks of silver interspersed throughout. She has 3 small chin spikes, couple of inches long, and the central one's about 3 inches. Small central frill that goes up along her, down the center of her head. And she's got silver eyes, and she's dressed in like a solid black wrap dress. That's what you see there.
How many bandits attacked you, do you know?
Well, I would say probably somewhere between 6 to 10. It's hard to say.
And did you kill any of them?
A few.
It's kind of interesting for a cleric of peace.
Oh, this is Tethys speaking. So, but Amanji looks over, or not Amanji, Goodness gracious. Shelkosh looks over at you and she says, peace is the goal, but fighting sometimes is inevitable. And I prefer to heal and take care of those in need, but I am not a pacifist, if that's what you're asking.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Means occasionally she has to pacifist to the enemies.
Indeed. Indeed. You have a quick tongue. And quick wit.
It gets me into trouble sometimes.
I imagine it does.
I believe he was a bard in another lifetime.
I've met many wonderful bards. They're quite enjoyable folk.
Yes, they make good punching bags.
Are we going somewhere?
Yes, we're heading south towards the direction they're going along the Zumaji road here.
Well, Tethys, where are you headed?
We're heading to the mine.
Call that a mine.
So we're just picking up some turquoise. We've got a buyer in Kushako that is a private jeweler that has requested that we pick some up. He doesn't want to deal with the Zujiri distribution company. And so we're going, picking this up, taking it back, then we'll find another job.
How far south did you get along this road before you were attacked? Trying to figure out the terrain, see if we can't
We probably traveled
keep a
a
better eye out.
day and a half.
Okay. Are there any unfortunate ambush spots along the way that you
Plenty.
may have recognized?
Plenty.
Okay, well, we'll have to keep an eye out. Arden, you up there, I know your old eyes
I'm
Might-
excited.
might deceive you. Try and keep a sharp eye out on any sort of rocks and outcroppings that might come alongside.
By the
road
grace
as
of
we go.
Junanabi, I will see what we need to see.
Oh God, I hope so.
Well, we're burning daylight. Let's get moving. And then Sherry walks up to Shelkosh.
Shelkosh.
So, Shelkosh, please enlighten me on how you became a cleric of... What was her name again?
I know.
Amanji.
Amanji.
That's spelled Amanji.
Amanji, so I forget.
Well, let me just go to this handy dandy backstory I wrote.
Ooh.
So she looks at you and she says, "What is your name?"
I am Sharu. I am a cleric of Uvamar, as of about a day ago.
Ah, a new hatchling, if you will.
I suppose so, yes.
Well, I'm happy to tell my tale. So I studied down in Jermati in southern Tuchawa. And as with many in my species, my race, I joined the cleric's fold and studied in the school down there. After completing my training, I just felt that the Kitari Mungi wasn't exactly doing things as I would like to see done. So I left the church and decided to set out on my own and do Amanji's will as I saw fit. And passed from town to town. I went north into northern Tuchawa, passed from town to town, did what I could to help people, and one day met Tethys, and we just found a mutual benefit in traveling together, and he's been a servant of Amanji himself for quite some time, and so I offer my clerical services to him for a fee, of course, but it gets me to these destinations where I can help those in need.
That's wonderful. I don't know if I've heard of the Kutari Manji before.
Katari Mungi.
Mungi.
Well, they're an interesting lot. They are a centralized church, if you will, primarily in southern T'Chawa. They were much bigger before the T'Chawi Empire fell, and after the north segregated into different city-states. They lost much of their power there, but in southern T'Chawa, they still maintain much of the control. There's still some element of autonomy, but if you don't agree with what the church wants you to do, then you don't really have much power.
Interesting. That does not seem like how the gods, at least how I understand them, operate most of the time.
Well, that's kind of what I felt as well, so I decided to go off on my own. But they do good. I mean, they're not a bad organization, if you will, but they certainly have some negatives and some corruptness in them. But they've certainly united many people of different faiths into one faith. Following all the gods, of course.
Of course. Well, thank you for sharing. Do you mind if I'm writing a book of stories I am collecting. Do you mind if I have your story in my book?
By all means, go ahead.
Wonderful, thank you.
It's wonderful to meet a fellow servant, and I wish you well, and may Uvamar's knowledge bless you.
Thank you, and may the twilight bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Peace be with you.
So are we all just standing around watching them talk, or have we started moving?
So you guys are riding the beetles.
No, I was riding the beetle.
So the front beetle.
Nobody
is,
else got on a beetle.
Is primarily for passengers. These are hardy creatures. They're not fast.
I know.
But the front one is able to hold probably 6 people altogether. And then some of the other beetles are primarily for cargo. But even then, you could ride them. They're just not fitted for riding. So everyone is able to ride a beetle easily enough.
I think I prefer to walk. I've had a little experience with this, and it's better that we split up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on my feet as well.
Kaiji, I think if you made a little hammock on one of the sides of the beetles, it might actually be like a ship.
Interesting thought. I think I agree, though. It's better to be mobile.
Suit yourself. Are we there yet?
So you guys begin traveling down the road, and time passes. Nothing eventful. You see the desert shift from like they were before when you were going to find the scorpion. The desert shifts from blowing sands into a little bit more of a rocky and solid hill based terrain, and you continue moving forward, and you travel for about a day, and you rest. You get to a place to camp, and you begin resting for the night. Is anyone doing anything?
Yeah, so I kind of gather the group around. So we know there's a possibility of bandits. We know that there might be some issues going up to the mine, or as we have heard, people going missing from this this old temple site we're looking for. Do we have... I feel like we probably should come up with a bit of a plan how we want to approach some of this stuff. I'm obviously still around from the last encounter, but I would prefer to be stabbed as little as possible. It is not fun, as I would like to say it.
Need to hide behind Sheru a little more.
Yes, my shell has saved me through a few encounters, so I I don't mind standing in front, I suppose.
Does anybody have any paint? We can put a big target on him. Might help us out.
Well, my backpack covers would
Ah,
cover
I
the
see.
target most of the time.
But yes, a plan is a good idea. Does anybody know how to work in groups?
You could say that. I think all things considered, I would plan to be beside you with my blade. I know that the two of you with your magic-y, spelly stuff, in my experience, the magic users stay back.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, it's good. I've gone on, a couple small hunting trips and such with small groups, but I think this is one of the bigger groups I've been with, and usually I'm not out of the forefront, but I do think having, a good strategy, good number of layers to keep ourselves well offensive and well defended. How's that magic going for you there? I know you seem to be rather new to it, Asar. It's coming a little more natural now, or?
Yeah, I know some spells. So it's just a matter of using them, I suppose. But I would quite prefer if we didn't engage in combat at all.
I don't know that that's an option. We
Yeah,
are
such
kind
is
of here
life.
as guards.
I mean, if we can talk to the bandits and convince them not to attack, I am down for that.
Shiru, if you can do that, you would be the greatest turtle in the universe.
I will endeavor to be so.
I would
like to
give
see
you my piercing as a symbol of your
Wow.
amazing diplomacy. I highly doubt that is going to happen.
Bandits usually want one thing, and that's everything. Kind of makes it
Wise
difficult
words.
to talk to, but I have known a few folk that have been able to scare away the bandits, intimidate them, and such, try and make us seem above their level. Bandits, aside from that one thing, they want a second thing, and that is to live, to enjoy everything that they have stolen from those unsuspecting. So it might, I'm not entirely against if we can find a way to avoid a confrontation. I do think it's highly unlikely, but
Well, I have
I
had
do
a
think we should-
little experience in some traveling caravans. One thing that may go to our advantage if we can kill enough of them to scare the rest away, potentially. But regardless, I do think we should have one or two of us stand watch tonight, maybe take some turns, and if we do get into some combat, let's steer clear of those beetles. You don't want to be trampled by them.
How much do we trust this party that we're now a part of?
Oh, are they nearby? Can they hear us?
I assume we're stepped away.
If you guys are stepping away, I mean, we can
we've
certainly
probably
have
got
that.
our own little campfire and such that
figured
we
that's
are
what he pulled.
around.
He pulled us over.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I would say
We've got a couple little camp.
go ahead and make a
areas.
perception check, Sarah.
All right, hold on 1 second. Need to look at my.
don't throw the dice this time. It won't even come out.
Okay. 17.
17. Okay. So you look over, and you see that one of the members of the party of the merchants is kind of looking at you guys, and you notice that it's hard to make out this individual's features. They kept their hood up the entire time as you guys were moving around, and you did notice that this person has been driving the beetles primarily, leading them on. But you see beneath his or their cowl rather that they have like glowing red eyes. and they're watching you. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Asar's going to look at this individual, shudder, and then scoot closer to the group, and then point over her shoulder. Excuse me, I may not be wise in the ways of the world, but that man over there with the hood up, is it normal for people's eyes to glow?
Is there some sort of history check I can make? Or Arcana?
Sure.
I'm going to do Arcana. 19.
19. So, just looking at your own party, you see that Alton's eyes glow too.
Yeah.
And
I've got silver eyes.
and so they're not like a super bright light, but they do kind of give off this unnatural look compared to most humanoids, pupilless, and they do have a faint glow to them.
Okay. My musings, I wonder if it's maybe something to help him to see in the dark. As you seem to have your eyes glowing as well, Altan. Is that from some sort of ability you have?
No, that's just part of being me. One of the Kugani.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend by pointing out the man with the glowing eyes and suspecting the worst.
Are you okay? You do seem a bit on edge, I would like to say.
Of course I'm on edge. Well, running headfirst into danger, and most of the time, we just treat it as a joke.
In Asar's defense, I mean, I know all kinds of kinds. The fact that the eyes glow do not bother me. The fact that they are looking at us bother me.
I would look at
point.
us, to be honest, if I was traveling with us.
I mean, I can't understand why. It's, you see a group like this, never.
Well, I didn't know we're the bandits, and we're here to rob them.
That is true. They don't know us.
And in your defense, Asar, I'm assuming the worst as well. I think I'd just keep an eye on them.
I just wonder how much magic we should do around them. How much we should...
I mean, kind of overhearing a little bit earlier with Shelkosh kind of abandoning the church at some point. It sounds like she's probably not one to worry about. Most of these folk here, more than likely, are folk of the sand up here. But coming from Zumaji like she has, and the training she did, I'd personally be keeping an eye out on her just because I just don't trust those people. Anyone related to the Central Church just kind of gets on my nerves.
Just afraid if anyone finds out that I can do things without the gods' permissions, then I may be in trouble.
Yeah, that's why I'd say keep an eye out on her, because if she was once from Zumaji, like she says, she may have connections back there, and you can't really trust anyone to say, oh, I'm fine with whatever, and I left the church. It could be a trap. But I do kind of understand the thought that maybe they're looking at us like, oh, who are these? Are they bandits? We don't know.
Well, in all fairness, I just met all of you as well, so...
What are you talking about? We've been friends for days.
Days.
And a half.
3 days, I think.
And a half.
I'm not one to trust that quickly.
We are literally fast friends.
We could make a new fast friend. Asar's going to turn over, see the man with the glowing eyes. Yusa, please, come here.
And you see him. He just kind of stiffens and kind of looks away and then looks back.
Yes,
And
you. Please, come closer.
I've got some month-old jerky if you want it.
he just kind of shuffles over, and you see that his head is down the whole time, and he says, "Hello."
Hello, my name is Asar. It is a pleasure to meet you, good sir. And your name is?
I'm Locamus.
How do you spell that?
Lokeemus.
Look, Hamus, it's a pleasure to meet you. I just had a quick question, and you seem to be quite observant, if you don't mind.
Sure.
How long have you been a part of this caravan?
A while. I don't know exactly how long.
Is it common for bandits to attack a caravan when it is clearly empty?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, based on the conversation you've had, him coming over, one thing that you guys do realize right away that's really abnormal from most of your experiences. I'd say from Rainer's experience. I guess we'll put it this way: all of you except so it's Rainer, Kaiji, and Alton. You're the only ones that really notice this. You three are kind of oblivious to this. So, this is a tiefling. He's got crimson red skin and horns similar to a ram's. He's fairly...
Does he have a tail?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask if I could see one.
But he keeps his hood up, like even now his hood is up, hiding everything but his face. And overall he seems calm, but he does seem surprised that he is being called over, and it, based on the conversation so far, doesn't seem like he talks to people often.
Got him all red in the face. I bet he doesn't talk to women very often.
Oh, you don't have a girl
I've
back
been the
home?
brunt of that joke many times myself. Not very funny.
Well, he says, I don't have a home. This is my home.
Blink twice if you're a slave.
I'm not a slave.
I don't see you blink, so I assume you're not. Okay.
This is my home. I travel.
It's the way to live, living on the road. Sense of adventure. I understand.
I guess.
I've done it myself quite a bit.
It's really just it's a lot easier being on the road. Don't have to deal with people.
Indeed.
How often does this particular caravan get ambushed by bandits? Are you always with this particular caravan, or do you move around a lot? I'm just trying to get a gauge of how often we get ambushed.
I mean, I've known Tethys for a while. Travel with him. He was good enough to hire me. But I mean, I've seen a few battles. I mean, I wouldn't say it's overly common, but this particular road isn't known for being good.
Lacan, I know we are strangers, but did you lose any friends in the last attack?
Yeah.
I'm sure that must be hard. Why don't you sit down and share some food with us? Pull out some of my rations and offer it to him.
I can season it. Oh, wait. I forgot my seasoning. Never mind.
Forget you're not sharing magic.
Yeah, just forgot.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes.
This isn't very common either.
I wouldn't know. I've been in the desert for many years, and these are very new friends to me. Mr. Arden seems to know what he's doing. He seems to be the leader of this group.
Yes, quite.
Would you mind sharing your story? I was able to talk to I can't read my own handwriting.
Shalkosh.
Shalkosh.
Shakakan.
Right. Okay. But I would like to add your story to my book of adventures.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
The quiet one making him talk.
16.
He looks a little bit taken aback, maybe a little suspicious or nervous, but he says, I guess I could I could share it.
That would be wonderful.
So he just says, I grew up in Zumaji. I lived on the streets most of my life. And just kind of tried to find food every day. And eventually ended up working at a stable down there, taking care of the beetles, and just found that I liked working with them. I started training some, and turned out tried to work with the wrong person's beetle at one point, and they beat me. Lost my job, went back to looking for food, and just happened to meet Tethys one day and started traveling with him, and as just an aide. And then his beetle master retired at one point, and here I am as the new beetle master.
How did you meet Tethys?
Just down in Zumaji, he was traveling and needed some extra help.
And he's treated you well, and you've enjoyed your time with him?
Yeah, he pays me fair. And I don't know exactly how long I've been here. Probably a few seasons, maybe 6 or 7.
Wow. I'm grateful for your story. Not all stories are full of adventure, and I hope yours is a safe one. You seem like a good kid, and I'm glad to have met you.
Well, thanks. Thanks for asking.
Of course.
Can I get a sense of how old he is?
He's probably in his, I'd say, mid-20s.
So yeah, about my age too.
He's actually older than me.
Are you good in a fight? Can you take care of yourself?
I just take care of the beetles. I'll fight it if I have to, but
Do the beetles have names?
yes. Crap.
Roly poly and oly.
There we go. Bully and Ollie. We're missing one though.
Smosh.
Smosh.
Smush.
Crabby.
Stump the DM.
Yeah. I will get those for you later because I can't think of any right now. But yes, they have names. He tells them to you. And I will provide those because didn't prepare for that. Wasn't expecting it. And I don't have random names for beetles.
Ping. Ping was my best friend back then.
Well, Locanas, if while we travel, would you mind teaching me how to care for the beetles? I would like to add that knowledge to what I know.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. And he gets up after eating the food and says, "It's nice to meet all of you."
So nice to meet you, and I give him a hug.
And he just kind of like freezes, doesn't hug you back, and just says, "Thanks." And then he just walks off.
What a nice young man.
That was fun.
I feel doubly guilty for doubting him in the beginning.
I feel like he's just curious. He's wondering about us. We have a tiefling among us, and he must understand some of the hardships it seems that race goes through.
And considering his youth, how that all worked out for him, I would be surprised if he wasn't wary of others around him that he's not familiar with.
Okay. So you guys, how's the watch going?
Oh yeah, who's watching?
I can take.
Asara was kind of
I'll take a first watch.
perceiving.
Okay.
We're doing
I
pairs
suck
or-
I suck at it. But
Are we doing pairs, or are we just doing one person per watch?
And you've got the other guards as well. There's 2 other guards.
Yeah, so
yeah, we could talk to Shelkosh and take some turns.
Shelkosh is not a guard. There's
Oh.
2 actual guards.
Oh, okay.
well there you go.
I mean, I'll take a second watch. I don't see too well in dark, so get the middle of the night when you got the moon out and the stars and it kind of reflects off the sands, it's a bit better for me.
I've never tried staying up very late before, so...
Well, you should probably go to bed anyway.
Although old man like you needs his rest.
Yes, thank you.
I can take a watch. I don't really care which one.
Okay. So we've got Alton. So Alton's first. Who's next?
Rainer will take second watch.
Okay.
I guess Cheryl will take third.
Am I doing 3 or 4 watches?
Generally, it's 4.
I can do the morning watch. It's fine by me.
And then Kaiji.
Wake me up if any beetles die.
Serious question. Is there anything resembling a tree?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
not in this area.
Is there anything
sad.
resembling a large boulder?
Yeah, you can find a boulder.
Okay.
I mean, so when you say resembling a tree, like there's bushes, there's like sagebrush, but not like a tree.
Oh, okay. I want us to try to sleep 5 feet off the ground, if possible.
Okay.
I'm not very comfortable on the ground.
You can find
It scares me.
So you sleep on a rock.
Nice.
you can find a rock easily enough that can get you up off the ground.
Okay, sounds good.
Is it just you 4 taking a watch, or are we doing like doubling up at all?
Asa can go with Reyna.
Arden is sleeping.
What a jerk.
I imagine we can have the guards help us with some of the watches.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the guards chooses to go with you, Sharu, and the other one with Kaiji.
I imagine like Arden actually staying up to try and do the first watch, and about 30 minutes into it, he's just like,
Yeah. Just gone.
Okay.
Probably also up really early.
Yeah.
So Alton, go ahead and make
Pee
a
like
roll
5 times in the night.
a perception check.
That's going to be bad. Yep. It's a 9.
Okay. All right. Nothing happens during your watch. So you are up and you're just looking around. You have a couple hours to yourself. You see everyone resting and
I'm also kind of keeping an eye on the other guards and Tethys and everyone.
okay. Yeah. So nothing happens in the night from them, and but you do have that time to yourself, just to reflect on the events of the last few days. And then we're going to go on to Rainer and Asar. Go ahead and make a watch. Check.
Guidance.
Nice.
Do you want to do yours with advantage, or are you each doing your own roll?
Oh, you can do yours with advantage. I will help you see because I can see in the dark.
good, just.
Oh, wait, he can't see in the dark.
And if you see anything odd, point it out, and I should be able to identify rather quickly. 14.
Okay. So as you do your watch, you guys have a couple of hours to talk amongst each other, and your watch also passes uneventful.
Arden is snoring really loudly.
Sharu and the other guard will be on watch. So go ahead and make your perception check.
Nice. 22.
Wow.
I rolled an 18.
So you, in the night, just see some animals running by, some rabbits, and you hear a coyote in the distance, and but nothing seems to pass during your watch either.
Nice.
And the last one, Kaiji.
Okay. 18.
Okay. I need to roll for that other card. Okay. So you wake up and you look around. You said it was an 18?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you see some, in the distance, what looks to be probably some early risers, just continuing on the road through the Zumaji Road, and you see those some cargo beetles and whatnot, and they begin to get closer.
Okay. At the very end of my watch, I go over to Arden and I shake him on the shoulder. Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, what do you want? Okay, hey, hi, hello.
Good morning. No bandits, just want to let you know.
Oh, well, thank you. Can I... Okay. Can I help you? Do you need...
No, just want to let you know. Thank you.
Okay. Why do I have to pee all of a sudden? All right.
Okay, so watches are finished. You guys wake up in the morning, and you begin to make your journey, continuing down the road. You travel for the better part of the day. You know, there you continue to pass through the hills. Things get rockier. Things get a little bit more difficult to see what might be happening more.
Well, it's a good thing I'm an expert in deserts, isn't it?
That's right. As far as when I say difficult to see, it's a lot more places to hide.
Oh, yes, yes.
And so the brush gets a little thicker. The rocks become larger, almost bordering on small canyons. And you continue to pass through the road, and day passes fairly uneventful.
Just a thought. With Raynor's ability in the desert, does he make the whole caravan move faster? Because he has the desert stuff.
So, I mean, technically yes, but I mean the beetles are kind of a one speed.
Okay.
So you're just traveling at regular pace.
Sounds good.
So, at this pace, you guys can go about 24 miles in a day.
Cool.
So, you guys begin to make camp a second night, and we'll do another round of watches for who's going to be up first. Are we going to keep it the same order?
Might as well.
I'm good with that if you are.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sounds good. So the camp begins to be made. You guys find a fairly secluded place, a little off the road with some various rocks around here. When I'm saying rocks, like 20, 25 feet tall in some places, and cacti around. The shrubs, the desert shrubs around, and camp begins to get made. People are just starting to drift off to sleep. So go ahead and make a perception check again, Alton.
15.
15? Okay. All right. Okay. So, one thing that you notice in the middle of your watch is what looks to be, or not looks, you hear just kind of the, almost like the rustling of trees or bushes as if in the wind.
Is there any wind, or is it?
Yeah, there's wind.
Okay.
A little bit.
Just from Arden.
Would I be able to tell that it's like if it's coming from something else, or if it just seems like the wind?
You're not 100% sure at this point, but it does have you a little on edge.
Okay. So I'm gonna watch it some more.
Okay. So, go ahead and make another perception. What's your passive perception?
10.
10.
Ouch.
I'll have you make another perception check with advantage since you're kind of paying attention a little bit more.
Oh my gosh. A 3 and a 6.
Okay.
63.
So, this is gonna be fun.
Oh no.
Do we need to put up where we're sleeping in the camp?
Yes, please put up where you're
Oh,
sleeping in the
man.
camp. you guys probably would have pulled over primarily in like this little outcropping over here.
I can hear.
And this is like right at the beginning of our sleeping.
Pretty much.
My shell next to this cactus.
I'm trying to sleep on the side of this cliff.
Okay. If that's
I'm
the
gonna
case, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception?
I'm going to sleep under Kaiji.
It's 15.
15? Okay.
So, yeah, I'll put... Oh, sorry.
I'd probably
Be
be
like right here. If you're on the
kind of slightly under here and over towards the back.
I'll be
Just
like under you.
kind of keep track of anything coming up the back end.
Well, aren't you asleep?
Yeah, I am asleep, but like
I'd probably be like sitting on the rock or something.
just in case like anything were to wake me that was coming around the
Basically, you look like a rock.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me
Hey,
see
yeah,
what's
at night
gonna
do you go
happen
in your
to
shell?
Oh yeah, my shell's my home, man.
That's awesome. Just
Mobile
have a
home.
shell.
With a big pack on the back.
We have to do one where we're surfing on your shell.
Okay. Oh, I rolled the wrong dice there. Oh, gosh.
This is where the alert feat would be nice.
You are so lucky.
Yeah, you need
Gave
to
them advantage and they rolled a 4.
Boo-hoo.
All right. So, as you are
I also
standing
remain
there,
alert to danger.
walking back and forth for your watch, you hear the click of a crossbow, and a bolt lands right in front of your feet.
So because my favorite terrain is desert, I remain alert to dangers even when engaged in another activity.
Like sleeping. Okay.
It's still another
So
activity.
that must have woken you up.
Which would
The crossbow woke you up.
and because the buffs I get to proficiency when in desert, I'd have a 14 as my passive perception. I don't know if that
Okay.
helps.
Definitely helps. They rolled really good on stealth, which is why you didn't hear them. So I would say just from the crossbow bolt, what's everyone else's passive perception?
14.
14?
I don't think mine's good. 11.
11? What's this ours?
10.
Okay. So, Kaiji, Rainer, Sharu, and Alton, you all hear this crossbow bolt. Well, you see the crossbow bolt, but you guys hear the click, and that kind of alerts you awake. And we are going to end the session there and pick up with the combat next session.
You would.
Thanks for watching, listening, whatever.
You have been listening to RollFare, a D&D podcast. Produced, recorded, and mixed by SF Shields. Executive produced by the RollFare team. Copyright 2021 by RollFare LLC. All rights reserved. Visit us online at rollfare.com.